our beloved, why have you left us?
May the ancestors guide you home.
Elder, look.
They are the spirits of our ancestors.
Long before the red earth roads knew the weight of cars, and when the moon was still believed to listen closely to human whispers, there stood a village called Apanga, hidden between thick forest and a slow, thoughtful river. Apanga was not marked on any map, yet travelers who stumbled upon it spoke of strange stillness, as though the air itself remembered things it refused to say aloud. The people of Apanga lived simply. At dawn, the women sang as they pounded yam, their pestle rising, falling like a steady heartbeat. The men walked the land, speaking little but listening much. At night, the elders gathered the children beneath the unko tree at the center of the village, where stories were not told, they were inherited. But Apanga carried a secret heavier than silence. In that village, the death was not always the end. From time to time, no one could predict when a person would die and return. Not as a ghost, not as a spirit, but in flesh and breath, as though they had only taken a long journey and come back. For the first time it happened in many years, when old Baba Sadiq died. He had been the oldest man in the village, his voice like dry leaves, his laughter like distant thunder. When he died, the village mourned as tradition demanded. Drums spoke slowly, women wept openly, and he was buried beneath the great tree wrapped in white clothes. But on the third night, as the moon swung low and swollen, a boy fetching water screamed. Baba Sadiq was sitting by the river, alive. Word spread like fire through dry grass. By sunrise, the entire village had gathered around him. He looked the same, but not the same. His eyes held something deep, something too wide for the human eyes. The elders approached carefully.
What did you see?
Asked Mama Adoni, her voice steady, but her hands trembling. Baba Sadiq did not answer. Immediately, he looked towards the forest, then towards the sky, as if measuring which they held the truth. Finally, he spoke.
I walked, but not on.
He said softly, but not on earth. The children drew closer. Even the wind seems to lean in.
There is a place where the ground remembers every footstep you have ever taken. It shines not with light, but with memory. I saw people.
You have taken. It shines, not like light, but with memory. A murmur moved through the
I saw
crowd.
people not as they were when they died, but as they were when they were most true. Some were light, easy like laughter. Others heavy, as though they carried stones no one else could see.
As though they carry stones no one else could see. What determines this? A young woman asked. Baba Sadiq gazed sharp. What you do when no one is watching? Silence fell. He spoke no more that day, and though he lived among them, he was never fully one of them. He ate little, spoke less, and often stared into the space that held nothing for others. After him, it happened again. A young woman named Zainab fell ill during the Harmattan season. Her breath grew thin, like smoke escaping a dying fire, until one morning it stopped completely. She was buried before sunset, but 2 days later, she returned. Unlike Baba Sadiq, Zainab wept. She wept as though her heart had seen too much. "They are waiting," she cried to anyone who listened. "All of them, waiting at a crossing." "What crossing?" the village asked. "A river," she said, her voice shaking. "Wide and endless. One side, people wandering, calling names that never answered. And the other side, there is peace." "Who crosses?" Madame Adoni asked gently. Zainab looked at her eyes filled with strange knowing. "Only those who can let go of what binds them." The village grew uneasy. "What binds them?" someone whispered. Zainab's voice dropped. "Regrets, lies, harm done without repairs." From that day, Apanga people changed. Men who once cheated their neighbors began to return borrowed things. Women who held long grudges started to forgive. Parents called their children closer, speaking words they had once swallowed. But not everyone listened. There was a man named Kabiri. Kabiri was known for his charm and clever tongue. He traded in the market, always smiling, always laughing, but his scales were not honest, and his promises were thin as air. When Baba Sadiq spoke, Kabiri laughed. When Zainab cried, Kabiri shrugged. "Stories," he said, "fears, dreads as wisdom." Then one market day, Kabiri collapsed by evening. He was gone. The village buried him with the same ritual, though many shook their head, remembering Kabiri's ways. 3 nights passed, nothing. 4th night, still nothing. But on the 5th night, thunder rolled across the clear sky and Kabiri returned. But he did not walk into the village. He stood at its edge, alone. The children saw him first, ran, screaming. The elders followed, their hearts pounding. Kabiri looked different. Not like Baba Sadiq, not like Zainab. He looked tired, as though something inside him had been stripped bare. "Let me in," he said, his voice dry. But Mama Adoni stepped forward. "What did you see?" she asked. Kabiri swallowed hard. "I saw river," he said, "and I could not cross." A hush fell. "Why?" someone whispered. Kabiri's eyes filled with something unfair. "Fear." "I carried too much weight on me," he said. "Every lies, every deceit, they clung to me. The water could not accept me." His voice broke. "I saw others cross. They were light. They walked as though the river knew them." "And you?" Mama Adoni asked. Kabiri shook his head slowly. "I was sent back to return what I took and to become lighter." No one spoke. That night, the elders made a decree.
Those who died and return are not to be celebrated. They are messengers, not miracles.
From then on, whenever someone returned, the village did not rejoice loudly. They listened, they changed, and they remembered. Kabiri spent the rest of his days repairing what he had broken. He returned goods, he spoke truth, and asked for forgiveness even when it burned his pride. Years later, when death came for him again, he did not return. But on the night he was buried, the river near Apanga village flowed more gently than ever before. And Mama Adoni, now old and nearing her own journey, smiled as she listened to its song. In the village of Apanga, they say the dead do not come back to frighten the living. They come back to weigh the heart and to remind those who still breathe that a life lived lightly in truth will never fear the crossing.